And I'm very happy to announce Lindsey Lurie. Working a long time at IBM, recently her job changed to Chief Marketing Officer for IBM Security, so a very warm welcome for Lindsey.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Lindsey Lurie. I am based in Austin, Texas, and I can confirm what Sarah said earlier, that a lot of people are moving to Austin. It wasn't that long ago. It feels like just yesterday I was starting out my career at IBM. I was an intern at the University of Texas in Austin. And if you had asked me then if I would be at IBM as a creative type this many years later, and that they'd be crazy enough to make me an executive, I would have said you were out of your mind. But I've taken advantage of so many incredible experiences. I've gotten to travel the world, and we're on a really exciting mission that I'm going to tell you about today as part of the marketing organization. As was stated, I've been the Chief Marketing Officer for our Cybersecurity division the last 5 years, and most recently also picked up responsibility for our cognitive applications business, and I'll tell you a little bit about what that means. So, I'm here today to tell you about our marketing journey. But first, I thought I'd tell you just a little bit about what we're up to in IBM and how that's helping retail organizations. So part of my portfolio, as I said, represents the cybersecurity world. There's a lot of crazy people doing crazy things out there, and I like to say we're on the good side of that. We're helping you prepare for the inevitable and be prepared if and when that happens, and then helping organizations respond to that. In meaningful ways. And it's been just incredibly exciting to be a part of that journey. My marketing team also consists of Internet of Things. So when you think about solutions for connected homes and cars, manufacturing and businesses. We're also marketing and working with clients on HR and talent solutions for identifying, hiring, and retaining top teams. The Weather Company, I'm not sure you're aware that the Weather Company is part of IBM. And every day, over 300 million users are counting on us for weather data and applications for analyzing and delivering microclimate forecasts and timely information. We're also working with developers, developer communities, providing tools and helping them create smart code. And finally, marketing to marketers and thinking about solutions for CRM and analytics. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our journey in terms of how we've been leveraging some of those tools to become stronger marketers and drive a stronger ROI for the company. So if I break that down and what some of these areas mean for the retail space, Internet of Things is opening new connection points to consumers that we haven't seen before. And with IoT, we can reduce inventory error, we can optimize your supply chain and decrease labor costs. Your traditional brick and mortar shops can now be more competitive and do so in a way with online retailers by exponentially improving customer experiences. And that's going to be a constant theme throughout my talk today about understanding our customers better to provide more meaningful and relevant experiences to them. From a talent perspective, we have tools that are making retailers more competitive and in hiring practices and building better teams using AI. Cognitive applications is all about embedding AI in our applications and feeding that into our infrastructure. You all know, I don't have to tell you that retail is a people business. Whether it's greeting customers at a door, ringing up a purchase, your employees have a huge impact on your business success. And we provide talent management tools that leverage AI, that leverage automation to give you an edge. We talked about weather a little bit. That becomes really important in your world. And you need to have accurate weather data with industry-leading AI, IoT, and analytics so that it can be actionable. You can have insights to impact your customers and your businesses. And our solutions are regularly supplying information to retail managers and others, insights into weather's impact on their business so you can make smarter decisions to improve safety, to reduce costs, and drive revenue. The world that I've been in the last several years has been cybersecurity, and data privacy rules like GDPR have pushed the industry to enact greater consumer protection. As is the case, though, in many organizations, retail included, when you're thinking about your priority list and you've got innovation there, you've got customer retention, you don't always think about security. But as consumers become more concerned about their own digital security and privacy, Retailers must be right there with them and offering new security technologies and protection, and lean on expertise. You don't have to do it alone. The developer community. So we're here creating IBM tools that help developers more efficiently and effectively build the code that drives your applications that you might use internally within your organizations to be effective, but also ones that your customers use. So apps your customer uses can be, the first touch point. That can be how your brand is represented in terms of the experiences that they have, and that can define you as a retailer. And lastly, as marketers, we're marketing to marketers. And where would the retail industry be without analytics to give us greater insights and reach? So I just wanted to set the stage in terms of the landscape and the portfolio that I'm working on each and every day to make a difference for our clients. But now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the marketing transformation. And there were some similar themes earlier today along that journey that I think are going to build nicely here. The first starts with digital disruption. And the fact is, today's consumer expects more. They expect more of us. And to be successful, we have to put consumers at the center by meeting, anticipating, and exceeding their expectations. You all know this well. I don't have to harp on this point. But the past few years there have been a lot of disruptors out there. And, traditional approaches with clients, are not always working the same way. We have to think differently. And you had to take a holistic approach. And so we've also made some changes ourselves, building on some of the disruptors in technology that have come to the forefront, whether that's artificial intelligence, whether that's Internet of Things or blockchains, all surrounded by a secure cloud. And so I'm going to talk to you about how we've also changed and addressed that within marketing. Because I can tell you that as technology has changed and businesses have evolved, so has the marketing opportunity. And as a marketer over the last 10 years, it's been somewhat of a scary decade for us. The landscape has completely changed. And so we've had to transform our profession in the process. We've had to do that in a way that we can be more connected, convenient, and seamless in our experience. The buzzword earlier was experiential marketing, and ultimately in a way that gives marketing a greater seat at the table to drive results for our business. And so I want to give you a couple of examples of how we're thinking about that, because change has certainly been the constant. In the days of old, we were setting the expectations for consumers. We were setting the pace and how they would consume expectations. But now she sets the pace. Marketing used to be just about art, but now it's about science and data coming together with the art. We used to have vertical silos, so you might have the content manager, the digital strategist, the events person, the advertising team, all working in different parts of the office. Now we're coming together. We're agile in our approach. We've broken down the walls, working together and agile to the core, where agile becomes a team sport. We've trained, and I'll get into some of the specifics of our chapter on agile here in a minute. And lastly, technology is no longer some guy down the hall, and I'm not really sure what they're up to. Technology is embedded in everything that we do. We are more data-driven than ever before as marketers, where we're all analytics-driven. So where are we now? Well, we've embraced this mission and this mantra, and it doesn't matter if you talk to marketers in Austin, Texas, or around the world, you will hear a consistent commitment, and that is a journey. We are here as a marketing organization at IBM to be the most outcome-oriented, customer-centric, agile to the core marketing team on the planet. And it doesn't matter, like I said, where you are in the world. But one thing has been constant in our transformation, and that is change. We've had to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and that's something that starts at the top with our wonderful CEO. And so, many of you know that a big brand starts with a big idea. And so we're going to take a step back a minute, because IBM's been around a little while. It's over 100 years. And for those 107 years, IBM has brought the next generation of technology, combined with just incredible expertise across many industries, understanding the underbelly of how every industry works to help our clients move forward. And doing so in a really meaningful way that brings in trust, security, and responsible stewardship. That matters more now than ever before, and it's incredibly important also as we usher in the next chapter with AI and artificial intelligence. So I'm going to tell you how we've brought that to life in 4 chapters from an IBM marketing perspective. But let me first start with a video and talk to you a little bit about the importance of understanding your customer.
Customer data? You got it. Tons of it. And you know your customer. Take Jack, for example. Jack loves waffles. How do you know? Because Sunday Jack said so on social. And last Friday, he'd been searching for a waffle maker in your online store. Boom! Now you're ready to talk to him. Because you know Jack. Except, Jack was actually just carving up for a 5K at the end of the week. He's not so much a waffle freak as a fitness freak. But you already assigned him to a target audience, so you're still talking to him about all things waffle. Jack deletes the email without opening it. And then he ignores your SMS. And closes your ad. So you don't know Jack. And to give Jack an experience that would have actually been right for him, you should have had an AI-powered platform that connects all your data to show that he's not obsessed with brunch, he's obsessed with running. And you also would have known that Jack is actually Jacqueline. If your marketing can't make sense of your data, you don't know Jack.
So I love to show that video because I think we all feel that way. We understand our big idea, but how as marketers do you get the point across where you're willing to change everything to better connect? So with our values clear, I want to touch on what have been our most powerful lessons learned from our journey, because I'm hopeful that it can help you on yours as well. So first, from chapter 1 perspective, even in retail, you all know the buyer isn't always the user. Maybe the buyer's a parent, but the user is their child. We know our technology is in the hands of millions of users, so how do we serve the buyer better? And how strongly do they feel about our products? What is shaping their expectations? These are the questions that fuel us each and every day, because we're on this mission to better understand as marketers what is driving our clients. And so I want to give you a couple of examples of how we've just immersed ourselves in understanding our clients and what they need, what makes them tick, and how to drive positive outcomes for them. First of all, we've used the power of a Net Promoter Score. You heard that mentioned earlier. We just went maniacally focused on this and gathered 500,000 pieces of feedback last year. We saw a 10-point NPS improvement, and it wasn't just about gathering the feedback. I like to tell my teams that feedback's a gift, and so we took that feedback and we actioned it all across the business. We've also incorporated design thinking into everything that we do, and we have an amazing design practice that is thinking outside in, working with our clients each and every day. We have cloud garages where we're co-creating solutions with our clients. So just this maniacal focus on understanding our clients has been foundational to our role as part of our marketing transformation. There's a famous quote by John Wanamaker, who's a marketing and advertising guru and he says, "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half." And so understanding our ROI and our performance has been part of driving us on chapter 2. I can now tell you as a CMO where to spend the next dollar. I can tell you the performance of our different marketing campaigns. And by the way, that didn't happen overnight. We've done this by integrating the IBM technology stack, and what we're doing is we're making marketers smarter. We're making them better. These tools lay the foundation, and it doesn't matter where you are in the marketing organization at all levels and in all parts of the world. It's the same approach. It's the same set of data. You can access it any day or night. It's cut through spreadsheets and working off of PowerPoint. And it's a game changer for driving conversations that are meaningful around ROI. Every single employee, and not just marketers, also can get access to this data. And I'm going to show you an example. I'll attempt a little mini demo here in a minute and show you how I, as a CMO, I'm looking at this information with my teams each and every day. So again, laying the foundation, understanding and making the data extremely transparent. I can also have these conversations with my CFO or my sales team and agree to a common set of goals and then track that accordingly. And again, we're implementing that on a global scale. So now I have this amazing power and I can come to the table with the C-suite and talk about marketing's contribution to revenue. I can show the return on every dollar spent, and I'm also very competitive and ready to spend my next marketing dollar. And we often have a kind of a semi-Shark Tank approach between the CMOs where money is moved based on performance and based on opportunity. So let me show you a little bit about what that dashboard looks like. We named her Pearl, and you can go into this dashboard, like I said, anytime, day and night, and look at how every marketing campaign is performing in real time. This is where we truly shift from marketing as just a creative art to ensuring every marketer at IBM is also an analytics professional. As a CMO, I can look across the entire business in one screenshot and get insights into how my marketing campaigns are performing based on spend efficiencies, response generation, revenue, and see the contribution that marketing is having to the business. I'm also going to show you some views here in a minute where I can go deeper on understanding the customer and what they're looking at, what they're interested in. And as a CMO, again, I can use this information to decide where to place my next bet. And lastly, it does spur a little healthy competition between the teams. So I can go deeper and say, this was a view I drilled a little bit deeper and said, okay, for the security performance, the security campaigns, and by the way, the size of the bubble represents our spend. I can see how my campaigns are performing in terms of cost per lead, and I can see how that does across my different campaigns and drill down by a business, by a geography. And I want to see a trend week to week. I want to see a trend going up and to the right in terms of performance so that I can see that I'm generating opportunities. I can also go deeper on the types of mediums that are most effective. So in this particular view, I start to look at, is it more effective to do paid social campaigns versus, paid media? And I can make these adjustments in real time. And what might work for one campaign in one audience might not work for another. And I can drill into that, the specifics. So there's no more random acts of marketing. Then I can go deeper also by job role, and I can see audiences that maybe I wasn't targeting explicitly, but they're finding me organically. So in the case of security, I found health and safety professionals. That's interesting. I wasn't specifically targeting them, but I could see in the data that they were reaching out and organically, going through our campaigns. So I could do very custom approaches and follow-ups with them. Like I said, you can go deeper by job role. I can go deeper in terms of how they're finding us. I can also start to look at what calls to action they're most interested in. And because I have agile marketing teams behind it that are data-driven, I can make adjustments in real time to my campaigns based on what I know my users are telling me. So this was a case, IBM QRadar, that's one of our flagship offerings in IBM Security. And what I was seeing from users is that the offer I was trying to give them some trial code downloads as an offer. But my data was telling me, you know what? They actually were more interested in a Gartner Magic Quadrant report. They wanted to know how we ranked in the industry as a first step. So because I'm running an agile team, I could in real time do some A/B testing. I can use tools like Optimizely, and I can change out the offers based on what my audience is telling me. So, in this example, I'm no longer offering a trial as a call to action. We've replaced that with that report that we know is resonating with them. And this is how we expect our marketers to work and live and breathe each and every day. And we're always releasing new capabilities. And by the way, we are working with various clients on implementing a Pearl-like program in their organization, but we're also meeting with CMOs each and every day to compare notes as part of this marketing transformation. We're learning a lot from each other in the industry, and I'd welcome that opportunity with anyone after this. So look, the data is showing us that our marketing transformation is working. Over the past year and a half, we've seen significant double-digit marketing source win revenue. I can show we're a good bet, when the business is trying to make some bets. We've also expanded our reach, and we know more about our clients. We've got a mix between attracting net new audiences and going deeper in terms of conversations with our existing contacts. We're obsessive. We've become obsessive about our data and really knowing our customer. And that's what it means to be data-centric to the core. But the part of the journey that I'm most excited about that has really been fundamental beyond the skills, beyond the technology, it's building an agile team and a culture where people can do their absolute best work. And our former CEO, Lou Gerstner, once said, culture isn't just one aspect of the game, it is the game. And so Agile will change our profession. I truly believe that. And I'm not here using it as an adjective, I'm using it as a discipline. And a truly Agile organization breaks down silos. By the way, this was not easy. When we started on this journey a little over 2 years ago, believe it or not, our marketers were scattered over 1,000 different locations. We're now in 6 strategic US sites, as well as some other sites globally. That wasn't for everyone, but I'm telling you, when we've come together in these really meaningful environments and we've broken down the walls, amazing things have been happening that are also incredibly marketable as part of a really exciting journey in our careers. So let me spend a minute telling you about the steps we took to build a truly Agile marketing organization. We started with our values around trust, courage, openness, and respect. And by the way, a lot of teams would come together and write a social contract together as they were getting set up, both within the marketing organization, but also across functions, and deciding what are we all gonna rally around, what is our commitment, how are we gonna get there. We changed spaces. So like I said, we've come together in some key locations, and our office, for example, in New York City is in a WeWork space. That was the most conducive to how we needed to work, and it's working. We did training, we invested in the skills, we invested in our people, and it didn't matter which level you were in the organization, we got certified on Agile and what that means to be. There was no blueprint. There's a blueprint for Agile and software development, but we were trying some new things here in marketing at IBM. We also embedded Agile coaches, so we hired these coaches, they're in all of our strategic locations, and they're there in a very safe environment to work with our teams, to coach them, to advise them, and help them along the way. And lastly, we created, as part of this learning environment, we created a feedback loop. So whether it's engagement surveys, we're constantly asking our employees for feedback and really showing in a very visible way how we're actioning that feedback. So that was the first 3 chapters. The fourth and final chapter is really, I think undoubtedly one of the most critical. It's all about the technologies that will not only shape our profession, but also the industry. And if the last, 10 or so years or so were about digital, I think the next are gonna be about disruption. And that starts with artificial intelligence. AI is likely gonna change the way we work. There's no doubt about that. I'm gonna talk about 3 different ways that I think you can use AI as a powerful tool, working side by side with us, to have that next level of conversation in more strategic ways with our customers. At first, AI can be extremely powerful in changing what we know about our customers. And so I show this view here of Oprah. Gone are the days of old school focus groups where you sit behind a curtain and you listen to feedback about what your customers might want, what they might like. Now you can use personality insights and gather information as marketers, linguistics analytics, to understand their characteristics, to understand their needs and values. And imagine if you're doing a subscription service, for example. You can tailor the experience based on what we know about the individual, rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. The second part of this is changing how we interact with our customers. And so what I'm showing here in real time is a Watson advertisement for Toyota. And we're as marketers, having one-on-one feedback conversations. We're having the conversation within the advertisement. And I think that just, immediate feedback to take back to our organizations, and it's a goldmine as a marketer in terms of information, is kind of what's next. And then lastly, AI is extremely powerful in changing the way we're working. So as a marketer, I showed you the dashboard with Pearl that I can log into at any time. I feel like going deeper into my marketing campaigns. But I can also get alerts on my phone. And if I'm a marketing manager for a given campaign, I can have a recommendation sent to me every morning when I wake up. And then I can go action it with my Agile squad, with my team here. So I think just incredibly powerful. So what I just covered were the 4 chapters or 4 steps that we had in terms of our marketing transformation at IBM. But I also think there's kind of a +1. And now more than ever, if we believe that it's a business priority, we've got to accelerate diversity and inclusion like never before. And that's been a key, it's always been in IBM's DNA, but I really believe that in order to introduce technology like AI into the world in a responsible and non-biased way, we need to ensure a diverse and inclusive workforce is building that technology. And again, this has been part of IBM's DNA, for a long, long time. It's easier to make progress as well. And in 1953, Thomas J. Watson wrote policy letter number 4 at IBM. And he said that IBM would always hire regardless of race, color, and creed. And that was quite a long time ago, but it's been part of our foundation and part of DNA. I'm certainly proud of what IBM has stood for and continues to stand for, but there's always more that we can do. And our job is to mirror the world for our clients at every stage of the human capital pipeline, whether it's through recruiting, engagement and opportunity, promotions, retention, reward, and pay. This is fundamental to who we are and what we do. So I'm going to start here. Before I wrap it up, I'm going to give you a little preview. We just launched a new ad campaign that I think kind of ties us all together and shows you our responsibility and our commitment to the world, leveraging technology, leveraging expertise, but also representing IBM's values. So let me play that.
Dear Tech.
Dear Tech.
Let's talk.
We have a pretty good relationship.
You've done a lot of good for the world.
But I feel like you have the potential to do so much more.
Are you working for all of us or just a few of us?
Can we build AI without bias?
AI that fights bias.
AI that helps us see the bias in ourselves.
We need tech that helps people understand each other.
That understands my business.
Dear Tech. Dear Tech.
Dear Tech. Dear Tech.
Let's champion data rights as human rights.
Let's use blockchain to help reduce poverty.
Let's develop new solutions with the help of quantum technology.
Let's show girls that STEM isn't just a boys' club.
Let's make a difference in people's lives.
Let's do it all
Together.
Let's expect more from technology.
Let's put smart to work.
So look, the world expects a ton from our industry. Smarter answers, open platforms, technology that not just works for some of us, but for all of us. And the retail space is no different. For IBM, our marketing transformation journey to growth is driven by the passion we have as Agile champions to be client-centric and to really be outcome-oriented, data-driven in everything that we do. And that starts with all of us together here today, putting smart to work. Thank you for your time, and I'll stick around here if there are any questions.
I have a question over here on your left.
Sure.
Hi there, Greg Clare, Oklahoma State. I was very excited in the last little video that you showed the tremendous resource for quantum computing that's been made available to academia and business. And I'm curious, on the CRM side of that, have you created any models, or are there any user groups specifically related to retailing, quantum computing, and some of these marketing measures that we're very interested in?
Yeah, you're getting ahead of things. I think quantum is the next chapter. We're doing some interesting work. I'd be happy to get your information. We have an IBM booth out there, how we're working with clients, infusing AI into our solutions. And I'm not an expert on quantum specifically, but I do know we have different groups, retail included, in different locations, and I'm happy to follow up with you individually and get that information to you. Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.